Thank y'all for tuning in to yet another Showtime and Kev podcast. I'm your buddy Cory Showtime. This is my funny friend Kevin Munroe. And ladies and gentlemen, we do not start until Kevin does his island intro. So do it, please, my good friend.
In the name of the one called Emperor Selassie, I, conquering tribe of Judah, King of Kings, and Santa Cruz Reggae Music Festival with the rascal that got up in his peace. Lord of mercy. Brakashak, bo, 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 yaga yow, beep, beep, beep.
Thank y'all for tuning in to yet another week of social media and, you know, just real life that we talk about out here. We talk about real life subjects. We talk about current events. We talk about what it's like to be a black man and a black immigrant in America. And we handle business, son.
And by the way, I'd like to say thank you, everybody. ICE did not kidnap me this weekend. I'm very grateful to be free. Thank you, everybody. It's not even a joke. They got a Trini dude in South Carolina this weekend.
Damn.
Yeah.
So they even going for black looking.
Yeah. For Trini motherfuckers like me.
I just thought like they went after anybody that was speaking Spanish and they were just like, nah, we're good.
Nah. They heard him say "Wataguan" and like that's enough.
Wataguan.
Wataguan.
Interesting.
No. So this guy from
Paul,
Trinidad.
I can only hear myself on one side of my headphones. Yeah, no worries.
So this weekend, ICE came out and was like going for everybody, and I was dead ass walking around with my passport. Like I was not dead ass with my passport. And this guy from Trinidad, he's in South Carolina. He just got kidnapped by ICE, and they got him, and he's just there. They can't do anything about it. Like he has a visa, but you know they're like, well, talk to your immigration lawyer. Well, because he's not in jail. There's no phone call. There's no due process. There's no. It's not a crime. So he's just sitting there. So
he's just basically in like some kind of holding, like a weird holding pattern.
Yeah, just detained because he's from Trinidad, And of course, my mom sent me these emails. Boy, you better make sure you have your papers on you,
Speaking of papers, no Facebook. I do not want to tag Terrell Big T Butler or Kazim Rahman every week. I'm gonna bring him on just so Facebook finally can see us both at the same time in the same place and realize we're not the same fucking person.
Right. Okay. And the same people that are worried about FaceApp taking their face and identifying them. Look at what's happening now. We do this every week. This is the best AI, and it still doesn't understand that Cory Robinson is not Kazim Rahman.
It doesn't. And that actually brings us to our first topic of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're like most of us, you have social media and you like to do shit to keep yourself busy during work besides work. And so you download this app that makes you look like you're 75 years older, and some of us realize we really need to moisturize. But apparently, if you had this app, it's the story got out that it is a Russian developer, so therefore the rumor went out that, this is another way for the Russians to get our information. But very intriguing choice of music, yeah. The Russians are watching us. I don't know if they have like a Russian accent version, like, always feels like somebody's watching me. No, but but seriously.
Shout out to Rockwell.
Yeah, like it's an unnecessary fear because if you're watching me right now, you're on an app that has all your information. So
right. Yeah, I mean, you've already given up everything from your credit cards to your emails. Hey, look, the whole funny thing about this FaceApp thing is people don't realize that we're actually training the AI. People will say, well, why don't they just go look at all the pictures that are already there? Well, the thing is, you can't tell how old a picture is.
True.
Right? So they can't make the app work unless you help out. And the way you help out is you first say, this is me today on this date, and when you make a change, I approve it and I send it out there, which means that it actually worked. So we're training the AI. So in about 10 years from now, Skynet is going to come down and kill everybody. I'm just want to let you know right now.
Yeah. So. Sounds about right. I'm not surprised.
Shout out to Skynet. We were always your friends back in the day.
I've gotten to the point where like there was a point where I was scared to even put my fingerprint on my phone, but now it's like I pay for shit with my phone. There's no, like, I've leaned into it. There's no way. No, I don't want to tag comedian Jarrell Parker. Are you just going to find all the fat, funny black people you can on Facebook? This is just racist. Like I was saying.
Facebook is like that racist coworker that's like, hey, Bob, good to see you.
That's the algorithm learning right now. It's like, which fat black dude with a beard are you right now? You got a haircut, so we're trying to figure you out. So... But yeah, that's just how technology works. You can either like try and run away from it or lean in. And at this point, I'm not buying a cabin, so fuck it. I'm just gonna I'm taking over my stuff in credits. Now, but
are you sure you're not Lil Rel?
I am TS motherfucking A. No.
Right.
No, but like that's just the side of the times, man. Like you either get with it or get rolled over, and we're gonna get rolled over either way. So I really don't like. I mean, there's drones overhead right now that could take out anybody they wanted to. That's the part where it's like you kind of just got to lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to use it for what it is. I mean,
If
it's technology.
if you're gonna be paranoid about technology, you need to be terrified every moment of every second of every day.
I'm not worried about
I'm
it.
not doing that shit.
I mean, I feel like the only safe people are homeless people. Like, they have, like, no record at all. Like, there's no way to track them. They have no credit cards, no money. You know, I feel like, when Skynet comes, like, homeless people will actually be the saviors because they're like, they're not online. They're not on file.
They don't have anything tracing them. They don't have any electronic paper trail. They're able to get away scot-free. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, they won't be chipped up when they just turn off all our chips and fall out.
Well, you have a chip in you?
No, that's actually the next thing. Apparently, Elon Musk has figured out a way to tap into, like, he wants to put I don't know if he wants to specifically, but I saw a blurb online about how he has this new technology where it punches into your brain, not like, punches in, but like, electrodes go into certain parts of your mind.
Why do we trust Elon Musk anyway? This is a South African. All right? Did anybody not watch?
He's just like, okay, let's program all the blacks. Okay.
Yeah, the blacks. No, it says the blacks.
How do you get an E in black?
I don't know. That's South Africans. They put
the blacks.
The blacks. Did nobody watch Lethal Weapon 2? I mean, you don't trust those people. Okay. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I guess but that's the thing. Back to the Face app, though. Yeah, it's harmless fun in my opinion. Like when people say, "Oh, the Russians developed that app," they developed Tetris. I download that too. They still have my phone. They stole an election with Facebook. You're watching me on Facebook. You're scared and mad about the wrong shit.
Tetris was only the beginning, man.
Yeah,
it's only the beginning.
I'm not surprised.
But we'll be all right, man. I mean, I feel as the one thing people forget about technology is it's a democratized thing. So no one person owns any kind of technology. I mean, the internet is like made to be completely open, and then you can build anything you want on top of it. So if you want to build some countermeasure stuff, go ahead and do that. Okay,
yeah.
You don't have to worry about Facebook or any of these guys. Actually, you know what? You know what you can do? You can get off of Facebook. Actually, no, not right now. After the show, finish watching the show, then get off Facebook.
One funny thing that I realized about the app is that it simulates you to being the age of 75. So whatever age you're at, it just adds that to it. So if you're 40, it adds 30. And I was looking at that. I was looking at myself at 75, and I look kind of like my grandpa. But my grandpa is currently 90. He just had his 90th birthday. He looks way better than I did in that picture, which leads me to believe that I'm not gonna make it. I'm like that is a bad projection into the future. Like I'm probably cheeseburgers are probably gonna take me down to like 58.
I mean, I don't want to say your grandpa survived Jim Crow.
Yes,
but you're not surviving
Jim Crow, the civil rights, the draft, Vietnam, all that shit.
But you're getting taken down by Jim Beam. That's what's going on here.
I'm gonna get taken down by Jif. What are you talking about?
Jif, Buffalo Wild Wings. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm mad at the Face app because remember they had that one that made you look like the opposite gender?
Yeah, they still have that. That's still a thing.
It pissed me off because I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I tried it, and it made me look like a dude. Like, it's like, would you like a beard? Would you like a goatee? I'm like,
so apparently your only other gender is transgender.
Like, what are you trying to say, Face app? I mean, I know I don't have any eyebrows, and I can't grow.
Why don't you have eyebrows? I just
I'm,
noticed that. I didn't notice that until you told me. What the fuck? Now I'm freaked out. I'm going to notice that every time I look at you now.
How long have I known you, Cory? You didn't realize I don't have
eyebrows? Well over 10 years. How the fuck do you... Why don't you have eyebrows, Kevin? You're deflecting. Why don't you have eyebrows? What happened?
Can we talk about this after the show?
Okay, Kevin has endured some radiation, and I don't think it's fair to continue down this line. Moving right along.
I'm a mutant. Okay.
Moving right along. On to the next online application. If you've been paying attention to your timeline and you watch Netflix, you may realize that Eddie Murphy might be gracing your Netflix things to watch pretty soon with a brand new comedy special, and they are offering him an obscene amount of money. I mean, an obscene amount of money to go up there. $70 million to do 1 hour of work. And that is why Eddie Murphy is still one of my idols in comedy, because he is about to get paid more than I ever will in my life for 1 hour.
And this is why I love comedy.
60 minutes.
Can you imagine doing $70 million for an hour?
For an hour.
I
would do it for 24 hours and never work again.
Dude, exactly. Like, what's his incentive to actually do a good comedy special?
I don't know, but great choice on the music. I feel this is so 80s. Let it play. No, screw that.
I'm just saying, look.
And like a Beverly Hills Cop, that was a whole movie about him being a con man. I'm not saying he's a con man, but he's stealing some money for $70 million. He's stealing about $40 million.
Can I say this first of all? Not everything you bring back from the 80s is good, okay? You're
True.
like, oh, Eddie Murphy's
I'm
back.
looking at you, Predator.
I'm looking at Roseanne. Come on. No, just because it was great in the 80s doesn't mean it's going to be good now.
And every action movie in the 80s was bad. The Expendables was basically every action movie in the 80s in one movie. It was good one time. Stop it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't understand like why they think they're gonna get $70 million.
The 80s were full of coke and too much money. It's fun for a second and then you got to stop. The 80s is like Vegas.
Yeah, I mean
it was the Vegas of decades.
It was so bad. Like in the 80s, like Eddie did so much coke he thought he could sing. And then Rick James told him he could sing too.
Well, Rick was playing. Rick was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I want to see that happen." After you remember what y'all did to my legs on that on that couch?
To my legs, Eddie Murphy. That's Charlie Murphy, sorry.
Yeah. Well, Eddie called in the hit. You know what I mean?
Should never gave you niggas money.
Yeah.
Look, no, but that's the thing. Like they were like so off of their rockers that they thought they could do anything. Okay, and they're still off of that. And 30 years from now, you can't not do stand up for 30 years and come back. You think it's gonna be any good?
Yeah, I think it will. I know he hasn't done it for a long time, but I don't think he can afford to. Let me put it to you like this: I guarantee it will be as good as everything else that's on Netflix right now.
That's not saying very much.
I know, but still, it'll be worth the watch. It'll be worth it if it sucks. It'll be worth it just to be like, oh my God, Eddie Murphy got $70 million for this. Right. Netflix is not taking an L on this whatsoever. People are going to watch this.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. They have.
He can do an impression of Donkey from Shrek for 30 minutes, and people would still tune in for that.
I mean, I just don't want like Norbit Eddie Murphy, okay?
Nobody wants Norbit Eddie Murphy. Nobody wants Holy
Pluto
Man.
Nash.
I hope he talks
Eddie
about
Murphy.
his string of bad movies, because Eddie Murphy had a bunch of great movies and a lot of bad movies. Like he had a lot. Like he's honestly on a he's almost on a Nicolas Cage level of bad movies.
You know what? Forget the bad movies. If he doesn't talk about the tranny, I don't want to hear shit. You better open with that. And
that's transgender, Kevin. We are trying. We are trying to be accepting of all peoples here.
I'm reading it from like the National Enquirer in 1987. Yes. So that's
another issue. Like a lot of Eddie. If you go back and watch Eddie Murphy's old stand-up specials, A, they're hilarious, but B, they have not aged well.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Oh no,
you can't use that kind of language.
There's a lot of the FCC ain't letting you get away with it. His whole my favorite one was Raw. Most people a lot of people like Raw. A lot of people like Delirious. Right. Oh no. Excuse me. My favorite was Delirious. That was the one with the red.
Delirious.
Yeah, Delirious was my favorite one, and his whole first 10
track,
minutes is just the word, the F word. I can't even say it. I'm scared to say it. I've got to the point where it's the craziest thing. Like you can't say that word anymore. So I'm afraid to even say what the word is.
This podcast will get taken down
in 10 minutes flat if I say the F word.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about fuck. I'll say fuck all day long, but I can't say the F word.
That's the first track, and that's the name.
He calls
of the first
Mr.
track.
T. Calls Mr. T a F the whole time.
Right. The first track. That's the name of the first track
on the album that accompanied his special.
Can you imagine doing that shit?
LGBT would be jumping, like they would add another letter just to add the ass whooping to him. And then you go on to Raw and it's like all that stuff about women in half, like, you know, Me Too ain't having that. Like,
and then talk about African women like the animals. I mean,
it's weird because like it's a very strange environment for comedy right now. Because that can lead us into the next thing about the.
Well, hang on before you move on there. I mean, I don't think it's
not ready to move on, but you know, it's the next topic we're going to talk about jokes that are getting us in trouble.
Oh, okay, it's kind of connected, yeah. Which is like, okay, if you think about some of these great comics you like from the 80s and 90s, like how much of their material would you be able to do in 2019? Probably not a whole lot.
Really, no. Yeah, like Don Rickles probably wouldn't exist anymore. Like they'd have to take his old crazy white ass off.
Right.
And he's Jewish. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't even fly anymore. Like PC is like taking over the airwaves, and there should still be a level of, you can't just say anything anymore, and that's cool. But like there should still be a level of artistic license to things that you're trying to get out.
We have to have a little space to take a shot, you know, and things that people are just being so sensitive about it. I'm not saying you go out there and you just like, you know, bust out the F word like all around the place. But I mean, I opened for Bobby Slayton, the pit bull of comedy. Yeah, and he would come on there and just clown everybody. You know, equal opportunity. Everybody would get it. Like one of my favorite jokes he would do is like, you'd see an Indian guy in the crowd, and he'd be like, "What's your name?" The guy'd be like, "Oh, my name's Mukhopadhyay." He's like, "Mukhopadhyay? That sounds like the shittiest hand in Scrabble." I would die every time.
That's hilarious.
I would die every time, and it's
But that's insensitive to
it's-
Indian people,
it's
Kevin. You cannot alienate our brown friends.
it's ethnic specific, but it's not like, I mean, it's just showing. I don't know. I
That's
don't see
also a
that.
hilarious reaction to somebody's very weird name, and I don't care who you are. You should be able to take a joke if you're at a comedy show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, like, I'm wishing Eddie Murphy the best. I hope his material works. I hope everything goes well.
But you really think it's going to be good?
I hope it's good. I expect it to be good because this is Eddie Murphy. That's why he's getting $70 million, because you're supposed to be. No, we don't want to tag Trenton Davis.
Trent Davis, shout out to Trent Davis.
Shout out to Trenton Davis. I don't think Kevin is nearly fashionable enough for Facebook to be making this. Unless you're wearing like a 3-piece suit with a bow tie and a bowler cap, there's no reason for you to be tagging Trenton Davis in this.
Trent Davis looks like a black Muslim that became a fashion model.
No. Trenton Davis looks like Mahershala Ali if he was a fashion model. Now, moving right along.
Okay, but I just want to say one thing. I don't think, and we'll get back to this next week or whenever this special comes back, but I'm putting it on record right now. I don't think Eddie Murphy's comedy special is going to be any good. I mean, not even Kings of Comedy good. Not even like Cat Williams on cocaine good.
Damn. Cat Williams was pretty damn good on cocaine. But why is it?
He's rusty.
Yeah, he's very rusty. I don't think he's.
Like
I don't think his
decades.
first. I don't think his special is going to be the first time he touches a mic.
He really? When have you seen him work out? Of all places, we live in
What?
that.
Time out, Kevin.
Dude,
What
we
comic
live-
do you know is going to only do one set and then put out a special? Like, I'm not even talking about Instagram cast. I'm talking about like the process of making a special. Like, you get like a weekend, you do a bunch of shows wearing the same thing, and then they put it all together.
Why haven't we heard of him doing any of that stuff? I mean, when Chappelle was working on
Because
this stuff,
the money probably wasn't right yet.
dog, when Chappelle was working on this stuff, we'd see him in San Francisco all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We are in LA. If Eddie Murphy's working out anywhere, word would get out that he's working out.
And you're right, but here's the
Where's
thing.
he at?
I remember I was watching comics in cars getting coffee, another Netflix show, and it was the one where Seinfeld and Eddie Murphy are chopping it up, and he's talking, and Eddie mentioned he was like, I really enjoy doing nothing. Like, that's one of the few things. Like, that's something as an adult that you really do. Like, that's a delicacy that you don't get to indulge in very often,
Right,
especially when you're a very rich celebrity where everybody wants you to be working so they can make you more money, or
Make
you can
themselves more money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You can make them more money.
Yeah, they're trying to pimp you
And
out. as
so,
much as they
like,
can.
he's like, I'm just raising my kids. I'm just sitting on the couch. I'm
Right.
like, the other day I sat down and I just fucked around on Facebook for like 3 hours. He was like, I never did that as like an adult.
So what part of that makes you think that he's gonna get up there and be at the open mics, like
None
grinding?
of it. That's why
he's
I'm
not
like,
grinding, dude.
He hasn't started yet. So
Where's the grind at?
yeah, but it takes like, how long does he have? No, like this is all a rumor. This is talks. Nobody signed anything yet.
Okay.
So like, if he wants to do it, then he's got time. You know, I don't think he's gonna be like, it might take longer than a year. But if he really is the dude, like if he really is the man that we all look up to, then it shouldn't take that long.
You know
and
what-
I expect that from him. Like, if you're like,
Nah, you know what I expect?
Kobe's old, but if his Achilles is healed up, I guarantee he can go to the Y and fuck up anybody with a basketball.
You know what I expect? I expect him to come out and start busting some shit that was funny 30 years ago. And he doesn't realize it's funny. It's kind of like how Jay Leno only does like Monica Lewinsky jokes.
That's funny.
And like everyone's like, "Yo, dog, that shit's been done for 20 years. Please stop." Eddie's gonna come out and start busting out some old like some shit that Def Comedy Jam wouldn't take on. I promise you, the dude, he had too many yes men. He's been rich for too long, man. Comedy, you
That
need
would explain Pluto Nash and
comedy. You need
Holy Man.
for comedy. You need to be hurt, man.
Norbit.
Like you need some pain. I mean, what does he have to complain about? He's been famous since he was 19.
well,
Like
his brother died. That's some pain.
everybody's family dies, dude. So what? I mean, you know, it's not. It's
The
not-
views expressed by Kevin Munroe are his and his alone.
I mean, Sam Meeker's like Murphy's funny.
Shout
He'll
out to
make it
Sam.
happen.
Meeker. Yes, he will. I believe he will.
I'm gonna put it on record. I'm skeptical.
Okay.
You know.
Before we get into the next thing, this is actually loosely connected to the last topic we were talking about. I want to put the question of the day out there. Question of the day, ladies and gentlemen. What is a song that you will never skip no matter what? It is your song that you got to hear. Please talk into that. Cedric loves Norbit, and he has bad taste in movies. Okay. I want to talk about real quick, again, question of the day. What's a song you will not skip for whatever reason? And we'll come back to that. But I want to talk about, since we got into a little bit of artistic license and like people being pussies as far as taking a joke. There's a joke out there right now that is absolutely hilarious. I believe the comedian's name, I don't have her last name. I know her first name is Dina. And she did a joke about XXXTentacion, who rapper that was killed recently, or about a year ago, actually.
Yeah, about a year ago in Florida. Yeah.
And the joke is that how he died was he had $50,000 in cash and he was going to buy a car and someone shot him, which is very tragic. But it's also a very good commercial for Venmo, which Kevin thinks is hilarious. I'm loosely translating the joke. I'm not trying to do her Matilda or anything like that. I'm just trying to do this for the sake of example.
And people got mad about that?
And the fact that Kevin laughed lets you know it's funny. That's a funny joke, all right? And XXXTentacion, if you look at anybody with face tattoos, like you're projecting an image of being a very tough guy. And I'm sorry that he was killed in that way. That sucks. Nobody should be murdered. But if you're a thug, you should be able to take that joke.
Why would you be in the hood with $50,000 in cash anyway? I mean,
alone though.
Yeah, I mean, going dolo.
Where's your homies when you bring in 50 grand on you? Like Floyd Mayweather walks around with $1 million and 7 offensive linemen.
Right.
He walks around with better protection than Tom Brady at all times.
Yeah, it's crazy me you would even do that. But back to the joke though. I mean, like this is. A joke like that it's technically proficient. It's beautiful, right? Yeah. Now, it's not saying that
There's no fat on it. It is great.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's not like saying you wish somebody died, but
not at all.
But
But since he is dead, let's laugh at the irony of that whole thing.
This is comedy, and part of comedy is laughing at horrible things. I mean, I don't know what you people want with comedy, really. Like,
Case in point, there's a very this is another thing that I saw that people were getting mad at. Recently, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, one of my favorite fighters of all time.
Oh, he died, right?
Yeah, he passed away, and he was hit by a car, and someone.
I already know the joke.
You ain't shit, Kevin. You're a terrible person that lacks empathy. I guess I'm the good cop. Kevin's the software engineer.
I already know the punchline. Like this, you gave me a great setup.
I'm a pot smoking slacker. Kevin's a software engineer, and he has no empathy. He's a horrible person.
But you see why that's funny, right?
Yes, you see the irony in it. If you don't know, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker was one of the most elusive fighters to ever live. You could not touch him. Floyd Mayweather learned a lot from him, right? The dude was one of the best defensive fighters ever. And the fact that he got hit by a car, it might not be funny, but it's ironic as fuck. Like, how do you not see? Like, you couldn't touch that dude. Could win a fight in a phone booth.
Right. I don't know, man. He's slipping majorly, man. I don't know.
Hey, it happens. It happens to everybody. That's how you know he was a little over the hill, because like 30-something would never have gotten hit by that car.
Oh yeah, he would have jumped over the thing.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that we can't even make that joke because people are gonna get offended is like, and motherfucker, like that's what we do.
I don't think all audiences get offended by stuff like that. Like, I mean, we're in LA, so like audiences here have heard everything. Yeah. A bit more like, but if you go to like Pleasanton,
but the joke was in New York. Like she was in New York and this shit went viral.
New York.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. I think it was something she was doing for Comedy Central, and like they pulled the joke, and she had to make a statement and everything.
Oh, but if it was broadcast, then yeah. I mean, like, because people in the Midwest will get crazy about it, but New York, LA. Come on, that shit's funny. Come on, let it go. Damn, which reminds me, I got to take some of my bits out. This is how this is going. I mean,
my boy Patrick said, "Hey, how you get Bill Cosby on your podcast?" You mad?
Okay. You know what? I haven't heard the Bill Cosby thing in a while. Yes, I do have a slight resemblance to Robert Culp, I Spy, Bill Cosby, 1960s Bill
Patrick,
Cosby.
I can guarantee you he's not Bill Cosby. I just drank that whole beer online, and you didn't see. I know I'm not the least bit sleepy.
Go to sleep.
Y'all are worthless. You're terrible people. But like I was saying, like that's the whole point. That's comedy. We're just lightheartedly fucking with each other. That's how this is. That's what we do. That's why. That's how we live longer. Honestly, is like you gotta laugh. You gotta be able to take a joke. Otherwise, you ain't gonna make it, man.
I mean, I don't understand like what people expect from comics. Like, what do they want us to do? Like, come in there and just say like safe stuff? I mean, you could stay at home. I mean, if comedy starts sounding like your boss at work, it ain't comedy. You know, the people that are funny at work, they're not funny. They're just.
That's why you go to a comedy show, honestly, because everybody everybody at your job, or at least there's that one person at your job that swears to God they're a comic.
Right.
And if you work jobs where people find out you're a comic and then they try to one up you.
And it's
They have to be like, it's a pecking order. They got to be the funniest motherfucker in the office. And nobody can honestly stand them. But it's like, leave it alone.
They're not good. They're just not good.
Yeah, go to a comedy club where people are actually gifted at what they do.
Right, and take it to the next level. Like, you want to hear stuff you don't hear in your ordinary life. Like, if I come on stage and I say some shit that you would hear, like, at your lunch break room at your office, then why are you coming to my show?
It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to come hear some other shit, and it may not be what you expect, but it's gonna be funny.
And here's how I feel about jokes that you don't like. Have you ever been listening to an album, to an artist that you love, on an album that you love, with a song that you hate? You don't complain to the artist and write a letter and be like, how dare you put this song I have to skip every time. You skip the goddamn song and go to the song that you love.
Right.
So, like, with the comedy show, if there's a joke you don't like, just sit that one out. There's another one coming. I guarantee you. We got 30 minutes or whatever. Or better yet, if we got 3 minutes, we're still going to try and pack as many jokes into that 3 minutes as we got.
Try to make it as hard as it could be.
Yeah, so, like, don't trip off that one you didn't laugh at.
Yeah, I skip songs on records all the time.
Please know that we did this with the intention of making you laugh. Kirk McHenry, shout out. Good seeing you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you for
what
tuning
up,
in.
man?
Yeah.
I used to skip records when I had a cassette tape. You know?
Damn.
I'm like, I don't want to hear that one. Flip the...
Yo, you millennials today have no idea what we had to go through, making mixtapes off the radio and having to fast forward and rewind and flip the tape over and shit.
Yeah, I used to take my mom had my mom was a teacher, so she'd have like a cassette recorder, so she'd record her lessons. I'd take that cassette recorder, put it up against the radio to record the songs off of it, make the mixtape and hand it out to Latanya Levan.
Oh, wow.
Latanya.
Shout out to Latanya, who is definitely not watching this, but Kevin got the hots for you for a long time ago. We talking about tapes, sonny.
I sent her a mixtape, dog. Latanya, wherever you are right now. This was, I was in Castlemont High School, Oakland, 1990, if you remember me.
I had my Sony Walkman about 3 years longer than it was cool, just for the simple fact that, like, remember when CD Walkman came out, but they were shit? Like, you could not... Like
skip all the time.
The slightest bit of vibration would make them things like just completely fuck up your song.
Why do you keep it then?
Yeah, exactly. Like I would work out with I had it in like my car or like someplace when I want to play music. Like I'd leave it like plugged into my stereo.
Okay.
But like I would take my my cassette Walkman to the gym because that doesn't skip. Matter of fact, you can throw that shit against the wall and it'll still play.
We're really dating ourselves here.
We are. We really are. I'm only 35.
This podcast is for millennials and for young people.
Is that bottle opener still over there?
Hello, young people. It is I. I'm part of your generation of Okay, fuck. Never mind. I'm Gen X as hell. I don't care.
Quick word from Kirk McHenry. Comedians even know that every joke doesn't work. So why should you feel like every joke is supposed to make you laugh? I completely agree. We need that was the point I was trying to make in the first place, is that we need some artistic license. All right, a lot of this is trial and error. All right. Much like a podcast, you don't know what's gonna work right away.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's cruise on to the next thing we have going on here. So we talked about FaceApp. We talked about.
Let's talk about Area 51.
Oh my God, Area 51. All right. So here's what happened. So this
Please
was actually.
lead into this.
So this was a joke, actually. This guy on Facebook created a Facebook event called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And it's planned for 3 a.m. on September 30th, 2019. September 30th, 2019, 3 a.m. Everyone's going to storm Area 51. And he got 1.5 million Facebook attendees already set up, to the point where the U.S. Air Force was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yes,
this
because
is not funny.
We're living in Trump's America, so even the Air Force is like, look, we get that this is a joke. It's actually kind of funny, but
It's not actually.
1.5 million. Thank you, AT aliens. Beautiful. Area 51. I see what you did there. There's 1.5 million people said they're gonna go. So like even with me, like I'm in marketing, so I know there's like maybe 1% of 1% of that'll actually show up to anything. Like say you put out a Facebook event and 1.5 million people say they're going, that means 100 people are showing up.
Yeah, we book comedy shows. We know. Like when somebody says it, they come to like 500 people are coming to my comedy show. That means nobody's coming.
Exactly. So, but if there is like 1,500 people that actually try to storm Area 51. If any one of you are listening to, if any one of you 6 degrees separated from someone that's going to do that,
Right.
tell them to stop. For the love of God, stop. This is the same country that's just taking, like, we're taking people that are seeking asylum and locking them in cages for indiscriminate amounts of time. You think we won't shoot you where you stand if you're a citizen trying to go into a military base? Are you out of your fucking mind?
You know what? I might pause you on that because this is the Air Force, and the Air Force is not known for shooting people. I don't know. They're not the strongest branch of the army.
Kevin,
let me just put it that way.
I perform for the Air Force, all right? And this is just what I know as an entertainer. They are armed to the teeth with shit that they can be fatter than me and use. All right, the Marines, the Army, the Marines, the Army, the Navy, they gotta like carry heavy shit. The Navy presses a button and you no longer exist.
Right.
Like, remember earlier in the show when I was talking about drones overhead and all that shit?
Right.
They know exactly how many people are thinking about doing that bullshit. They can drop something within 5 meters of them to let them know, hey, if you come any closer, you won't get any closer ever again. Ever again. Like, shout out to the Air Force. They're like, when the Army and the Navy are out there getting killed, the Air Force is sitting back like, oh, it looks like somebody's in trouble. Beep.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not known for being the hardest of the hard. I mean, my brother was a Marine.
They're there for being smart, and smart people know how to kill you without effort.
Just pushing buttons.
Damn an M16, it's not gonna get that close. You gonna step on something that ain't gonna make you that you won't survive.
So this sounds like the saddest Burning Man ever assembled. Like, where are these people?
This is going to be the worst EDM show you have ever seen.
Right. It's like
all the lights and pyrotechnics are real and they burn. Don't go there. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
This is Fire Island without the evacuation.
Yeah, there will.
Ja Rule is
y'all
not
be asking
help
where
you.
is Ja? Ja is very comfortably not anywhere near Area 51 because he's not that fucking stupid. He was dumb enough to battle 50 Cent and Eminem in the 90s, but he ain't stupid enough to try this shit. Okay.
By the way, I just want to say I'm tired of people dragging Ja Rule's name into the dirt. Ja Rule was a genius. He created.
Ja Rule's doing that to his motherfucking self. Okay.
Ja Rule created a whole genre of hip hop, which was the hip hop duet, the thug and the nice lady.
And 50 Cent stole that shit from him. He strong arm robbed that whole style of music from him.
So
that's why I hated 50 for a while. Because,
every thug need a leader.
Because like I couldn't stand Ja Rule for that same thing you were talking about, and then 50 Cent battled him to death, and then took his style and became Ja Rule, and was like, shit, now I can't even listen to 50 anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't listened to him since, honestly.
It's a whole genre. The man just manufactured out of thin air. I mean, he sings like Kermit the Frog, but he puts Ashanti on the record and it's a hit. So I don't know, he's made money. Mm-hmm. I can't wait till they do Fire Island 2. By the way,
speaking of rappers in a bad situation, Kevin, you got more information on this. No, I don't want to tag Calvin Lathan in this.
Calvin Lathan. I mean, racist Facebook is still guessing.
Still guessing.
What
Kevin,
Negro are you,
Kevin? Let's try to stay on top.
It keeps trying to find out what black person am I broadcasting right now.
That lets me know I'm losing weight because I'm getting so ambiguous that Facebook can't figure me out anymore. It's like I'm gaining weight and losing weight and gaining hair at a speed that Facebook can't keep up with.
Did you mean Keegan Key? It's just gonna keep Rolodexing through every black person that knows.
But please lead into this story because I'm a little lost on this one.
Okay, so this happened a couple weeks ago. Rapper ASAP Rocky, ASAP with the $,
yep.
He got arrested in Sweden after getting in a fight. Apparently, some people were chasing him down the streets. Him and his boys, turn around and drop some bees on him. Put some hands on him.
Okay.
Gave him the 2-piece and a biscuit.
Gotcha.
And they got arrested and in Sweden, and they're locked up and they can't get out because get this, in Sweden they don't have a bail system. There is no bail in Sweden.
You can't leave until you stand trial.
Yeah, I mean, what they normally do
That's
is
an interesting way to go.
Wait, they let you go if you're a Swedish citizen. They're like, well, you got to come back to court. But if you're a foreigner, they just keep you in jail. They don't have a bail system.
So you don't even have to go to court? Like they just lock you up?
Nah, they just hold you.
So like, does he get extradited or something? Like, I'm confused.
No, there's nothing. Like every 2 weeks, the court has to go back and decide whether they want to hold you or press charges, and they haven't decided yet. So he's been in this 2 week cycle. But I mean, imagine that shit. There's no bail, and I was like, how bad is Swedish jail anyway? What do you got? Swedish fish and Svedka? I mean, I mean,
Swedish jail is better than most college dorm rooms. Actually,
have you seen Swedish jail?
I did see a picture of the place he's supposed to be held. He's got Wi-Fi. He's got a TV. Like.
All IKEA furniture everywhere.
Yeah, like dude's doing like that's the funny thing. Like they treat you way more humanely than you think. He said he's getting inhumane treatment. I was like, he's doing all right, man. He's sitting on an IKEA desk.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He said the humane treatment was he has to drink tap water.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Like, motherfucker.
It ain't Flint tap water. You doing it ain't even Compton tap water.
Yeah, exactly. Have you been? I mean, I've never been arrested in LA, but God, I've heard terrible things about.
And it's funny because like I feel like Trump is just trying to troll now. He's saying he's gonna do everything he can to get ASAP Rocky out of jail in Sweden.
Right. Trump is trying to help ASAP Rocky out. I would not accept his help. I'd
like, nigga, you wouldn't help Puerto Rico because you didn't think they was an American territory, and now you want to help ASAP Rocky?
Hell no, I don't want your bail money, man. That shit's probably even fake. If he gave me bail money, I'd check to see if the money was printed on both sides.
And furthermore, I don't trust this situation because, like, or better yet, I don't really care because ASAP Rocky has been on the record saying he really doesn't give a shit about Black Lives Matter or any of these other situations. Like, I'm rich, dog. That don't concern me. Well,
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Yeah. Well, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I've never been locked up in Sweden. I don't have those type of rich people problems, man. You got to figure this out. You got lawyers, you got A&Rs, you got record producers and shit that give a damn about you, people that got money coming in. Hey, I'll let them. I'm sure you get more than one free phone call in Sweden. It look like you staying in pretty good. Okay.
What about the rest of the ASAPs though?
Yeah,
I mean, there's other
ASAP.
ASAP Ferg, ASAP 12, ASAP Net, ASAP Ant. What are the rest of the ASAPs though?
Apparently, this isn't as soon as possible.
ASAP turned into we'll get around to it. We'll get around to it.
ASAP stands for a snitch in prison. A snitch in prison. Snitch a prisoner. There you go.
But I mean, you see this all the time, but not all the time, but every once in a while, with some black celebrities who are like, "Well, I'm not really black. I'm just a person," you know. And then we're all like,
"Okay," like I'm not black. I'm OJ. Okay.
Good luck with that, homie.
we all wish we could pull that little number. Like, I'm not black. I'm just Cory Showtime. Like, oh yeah, psh, man, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, fuck Rocky ASAP. Right. I don't know how Swedish prisons work, Smokey, but maybe that's what's happening.
I'll tell you what. You can play that I'm not a black person. I'm just a person thing. In a different country.
Yeah.
Like where I grew up in Trinidad, yes, being black was not a big deal because at the time half the population is black.
I've never lived in a place like when I went to the Bahamas. That was the first time I was ever around that many black people. Where like it's one thing to
Did that freak you out?
Yeah, it's one thing to like be in Oakland or South Central or the South, but it's like another thing to be like this country is of black people and the white people are visiting. That is different for me.
The president, the prime minister, everybody black.
The entire infrastructure. Yeah, like that is some weird shit.
See, you need to do that more often.
I do.
Because for me, like, this is weird.
Me and my girl are planning on only vacationing in countries like that.
Like only black countries?
Yeah. And plus, like black people are everything there. They're the president down to, like, you know, the valet person. So, like,
you're not tripping about
when the help is money. Like, when the help is helping you, they're more like, man, at least I'm glad you got through. You know what I mean?
Right. That could be a good black vacation. You get off the plane like, whoo, thank God I got away from all this shit. Woo! Woo! Oh, this is good. Vacation. Only black people.
What is the black version of like a lay that they give you in Hawaii? Like, just as soon as you get off the plane, you're home, brother.
Welcome.
Just give you like some Wakanda beads.
Right. Give some beads, a shot of Hennessy. Like, all right, you're home, brother. You are home.
As soon as I land in Ghana, I want that kind of reception.
All right. Okay. So you want the Wakanda beads and a shot of Hennessy.
And a dashiki.
A dashiki and a blunt.
Yeah, a special dashiki. It can't just be just random. Oh, give them number 5. Like, no, I want them to know exactly who I am and what family I come from. Be like, you get this. This is the kente cloth of your people.
Right. That's your vacation time. You spend time on the beach, chilling, go around doing black things with black people, not worrying about it. And then when you come back home, as soon as you land, TSA is like, "Are you an American?"
Ain't that a bitch though? I've said this a couple times. Like, I have had to leave the country to feel like an American. As a black
Yeah.
man I was born in San Francisco, California, right? I am of this soil, right? My family, like I'm like six generations before you get back to like anybody that came from Africa to get here, right?
Right.
So I'm as American as your blood can be, right? As a black man, I have never really been called an American until I went to Canada or I went to Korea, went to Japan.
Right.
People were like, how do you feel living in America as an American? I was like, wow.
Like, am I?
Like I never had to answer that question before.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because here you're just black. You're African American. You're something else. Like I never considered myself an American, you know?
well, you know what's weird is it's just I feel like that happens the way you feel because white people blot out so much of the space.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that you're not there, but you're always like an afterthought.
Oh yeah.
You know, like even in like the small ways, like at work, like sometimes they'll have like themed lunches, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's Korean food, it's Japanese food," you know, it's and then when it comes to like they start serving like soul food or barbecue, they'll call it American barbecue. It's like, wait, just call it black food. This is
Yeah.
black people food, you know. But they won't do that. So it's always this thing where like you're there, but you're kind of like in the margins, kind of blocked
Well,
out.
this kind of steps into This Week in Trump because that kind of talks about last week in Trump when Trump dropped the tweet that he did. And that's the problem. That's the issue. That's the problem in America, bro. Is the fact that, like,
What
he
is-
said, go back where you came from. 3 of them are from here, and the 4th has been here longer than his current wife.
Right.
So it's like when you try, like, there's this natural, not even natural. That's the wrong word. But there's this. I think it is natural. Like you kind of naturally think of American, you think of white, but you like.
Well,
when you
I
tell
mean-
people to go back where they came from, like these people from Cleveland, these people from Cincinnati, these people from like Minnesota, and you're telling me like I got to go back where I came from? It's like motherfucker, I'm from San Francisco.
Yeah, well, I mean, I won't take that too seriously. I mean, I think he's pushed all the buttons he could push. Now he's pushing the last few buttons that are left.
Yeah.
You know, so go back to Africa is kind of like, I mean, we're like 2 steps away from like burning a cross on the lawn, you know, on the White House lawn, because that's all he's got left. You know, but I
But
mean,
that's what's frustrating though, is because like for whatever reason, it looked like we were making progress since I don't know 1968.
nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
nah.
That is people
Yeah.
always been there. I mean, but
Like
I
we
mean,
got a black president. You got Obama, and
you know what's so weird about this?
8 years of a half black president supposed to solve 400 years of oppression.
I just saw like a whole week of people trying to say that telling somebody to go back to Africa is not racist. Yeah, and I was like, how do you square that? And I was like trying to see the logic. Oh, well, you know, if you disagree with the way America is, you should. I'm like, well, Trump's been saying he hates America for a long time. Like, this is the whole "Make America Great Again" thing. He says it sucks.
I love those two competing.
How is it that he can complain and no one says, well, go back to Germany, right? Which is where he's from?
I love those two competing ideologies. America, love it or leave it, and Make America Great Again, because it's completely.
Well, they're contradictory.
Yeah, they're completely contradictory because you just said America, love it or leave it. That implies that you can't change anything. The way it is right now, it's
Right.
perfect. We can't do anything. Well, if it's perfect, why do you need to make it great again? If you need to make America great again, you need to get the fuck out.
I don't think these people are capable of holding 2 thoughts in their heads at the same time and trying
That
to reconcile them.
haven't been given to them by Fox News.
So here's the thing I wanted to bring up about this dude. How is it that Trump knows so many sexual predators and pedophiles? Like, I mean, I only know one.
You want an honest answer, or you
Like-
want me to just pretend like I don't know?
I mean, I just like, how does like this dude's like Rolodex is just full of fucking jackoffs, like all of them.
Literally.
How do you know so many people? Like I know one famous person. I used to know a professional athlete. Like I know a few people in certain genres.
Yeah.
This dude's entire Rolodex, like Epstein, Roy Moore, the dude who used to go to the malls from Alabama. Used to go to malls to pick up high school girls. This guy Ralph Shorty, the state senator from Oklahoma. He just got 15 years. Bill O'Reilly had to leave Fox. I mean, you know how fucked up you have to be that even Fox News is like, you're too shitty to stay with us?
That is pretty bad.
I mean-
Kevin, let me answer your question with a question. All right. What do you have, like, in your phone, what do you have the most of? Like you said, like one athlete, one like famous person.
Right.
Like, I bet you have a lot of comedians in your phone.
Yeah. My Facebook and
Yeah.
all my contacts are mostly
Lot of
comedians, a lot of dancers, a few engineers, and a bunch of my family, people from Trinidad that
Exactly.
I still know.
Like,
you know?
the people that are in your Rolodex are the people you know, the people that you hang out with, the people you are, right?
Right? Yeah, pretty much.
That's
So-
why Trump knows so many sexual predators. Because he is one.
America's
And the
first
only thing is, the
pimp
only difference
president.
between him and Epstein is the fact that he's president. So we literally can't try him for this shit right now, even
Right.
though we have been up until the moment he got elected.
I don't understand how
He's
this goes.
never not
How does-
had a sexual assault or a sexual misconduct or a racial housing discrimination or a bankruptcy. He's never not had a single solitary fucking problem.
Right. That wasn't associated. Right.
Yeah.
So
Sadia says you incriminating yourself. He ain't do nothing wrong.
hey, we don't dry snitch on
I
this
know
program.
a lot of weed heads in my phone. I'll tell you that right now. I can get
Here on Showtime and Kev, we do not dry snitch.
We do not.
We do not dry snitch.
We do not say anything we would not back up in the streets or in person. So,
But by the way, I just love this Epstein story. I think it's hilarious. Where this week he got denied bail.
hallelujah.
Yeah, because his attorney was saying, well, he's not a flight risk.
Nick,
And the
he
attorney's
owns
like,
his own.
motherfucker, if you are not a flight risk, who is? You
have
got a plane.
private jet.
You got a plane, son. You have a motherfucking plane. Like, who else is if he's not a flight risk, who is?
It's like he's not a flight risk. The man has a private jet and a private island. He's not a flight risk.
Yeah.
The motherfucker's Dr. Moreau. He doesn't have a flight risk. He's half of Professor X. He can just walk. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. You just be on the island like, sorry, you can't land here.
Oh my god.
Sorry, no visitors. No visitors.
Dude has an island, private jet, obviously a boat. Like, you don't have both of those and not have a boat.
He's got a yacht.
He has a million different ways. You know what's funny? I posted a meme the other day where like it was a bunch of shit that Diddy does with his money, and like somebody tweeted that like Diddy came to this party in a car and left in a boat. I don't know what kind of Grand Theft Auto life this nigga's living, but it's lit. That's the type of flight risk that Jeffrey Epstein is. Like he could leave, he could show up in a helicopter, leave in a submarine.
Right. Yeah. He has this underwater lair in the Antarctic somewhere.
And I don't think anybody can honestly say what he does to have all that money. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some hedge fund, there's some real estate in there, but nobody can like nail down exactly what his money is.
Yeah, I mean that's like most other hedge fund guys were saying that he has no presence on the markets. They have no idea who his clients are. They've never seen
Jordan
any
Belfort
activity.
had presence out there. They were able to film the Wolf of Wall Street guy. They were able to find him. So.
Yeah, but this is totally Ponzi scheme level because what's his name? The guy that went up for the Ponzi scheme. Same thing. Like he ran the office himself. He had no presence on the markets. No one could see his movements. They had no idea who his clients were, where his money came from. But this dude, like I said, he has a safe full of porn tapes of famous people and underage girls. Like I call it, blackmail blockbuster. Wow. He has that set up. So, I mean, that's how he made his money. He's like, yo, send me some money. Otherwise, do you want to see yourself on the 7 o'clock news?
That makes a lot of sense.
So,
he ran like an underage sex ring, and he's got the receipts. So he's basically paying for his court fees with blackmail money.
I'm surprised Trump doesn't know R. Kelly.
He does. He's just. I'm positive that is the one person his team is like, listen, you can't. I don't care how much.
Can you imagine that coming out like Trump and R. Kelly partied somewhere in Chicago? That would be a wrap. That would be the end.
I guarantee you, like, the reason why he hasn't tried to do anything for R. Kelly is the simple fact that, like, R. Kelly doesn't have a big enough influence on black people because we're, like, split right now.
Right.
So, like, it would be like, it's not worth it.
So he wants...
But A$AP Rocky, he's like,
So Trump wants to help A$AP Rocky, but doesn't want to help R. Kelly. Okay.
Oh, man.
I mean, come on, man. I see what you're doing. You just like, just keep my hands off of that, Just make it clean. And by the way...
The one thing he's keeping his hands off of.
And by the way, the person that lobbied for A$AP Rocky in the White House was none other than Kim Kardashian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't ever let it be said that Kim Kardashian isn't doing anything for black men. She is definitely...
I think Kim Kardashian is just trying to make up for all the harm she's done to black men.
Yes.
Like she's like...
Her family has damaged more black lives than the LAPD.
I mean, Kendall Jenner alone has taken out an entire starting 5.
At least, like, both sides also, like, let's see, Ben Simmons, Blake Griffin.
Dude, that's an all-star squad, man.
That's too good. Like, you put those two dudes on a team with any 3 random scrubs, you can win. You can make the playoffs.
I don't know what kind of team.
Kyle Kuzma, maybe.
Kyle Kuzma too. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. He was on a boat with Kendall Jenner the other day. So I'm just saying, man. I think this is the weirdest team building exercise I've ever seen. Like, how the
Yo, when the Kardashians play fantasy basketball, they really own the players.
So I just feel like Kim is going to the White House like, look, at some point I am going to die. I need to make up for all the negative karma I've created in the black community. I destroyed Ray J's career. Lamar-
No, whoa. Time out.
Ray J-
She had nothing to do with that. Ray J did that all on his own. Like, you know what's funny? Like I've actually become more of a Kim Kardashian fan the more I look at it. Like, what has she really done that's bad? aside from ruin like so many people's playoff hopes. When you take sports out of it, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's not like she's a serial killer or she's like,
she tweets, she like people jack off to her pictures. What has she really done to hurt your feelings? She has a horrible reality show, but then again, so does the president. I mean, really, is she really the enemy? I was gonna say the victim. She's definitely not the victim. I don't want to tag Corday Snell. Jesus, man. Every black person
dude.
over 200 pounds, you're just like, fuck it.
It's harder. I mean, I want to be negative about this, but you have a point. It's not like she's doing any harm, and she's actually trying to do some good now.
It's not like she's stealing money from anyone. She made money off of Twitter out of thin air.
She did ruin Kanye West, though.
Yeah, that is true. Well, Kanye was on his own. He was kind of rolling down the hill by himself.
But see, how many times are we going to say this about people around the Kardashians, that they were already messed up and they just showed up there? No,
they definitely ruined Bruce Jenner. I can't. That is a fact. That is for fucking certain. They ruined Bruce Jenner. They ruined Lamar Odom.
I mean, how many excuses are we going to keep making for this black hole of doom?
They technically ruined Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush, man, never the same after that injury.
Never the same, man. Never the same.
Okay, speaking of which, as we're getting into the sports space there, so we got this topic confused. So Cory shot me this topic about Kareem Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs running back, and I thought he was talking about Tyreek Hill.
Which just goes to show these guys were both on the Kansas City Chiefs last year, so it's like I've been saying this forever. NFL stands for need to find a lawyer. It's like, and he said it last week. The biggest boon to an NFL player's life is free time. So
they can't. We
got them. It's easy to mix them up. They're honestly like 2 digits away on their numbers.
Right.
It's like number 6 and number 10. You know.
I mean, one punches baby mama, the other one punched a cop. I mean, so it's like, what goes through a man's mind when he sees a police officer and goes, "Nah, I gotta punch this dude." Like, I'm a big dude. I still wouldn't do that. I'm like, why the fuck would you?
You're not that fucking big.
Not bigger than police, no.
No, you're not NFL big.
I don't care if I was Suge Knight big.
I saw a video of an NFL player having an interaction with a cop at a gas station or something. Like the cop kept, and this is one of those situations where I was like, I'm glad the cop didn't shoot him, but at the same time, I kind of would have understood. Like it was it was like the middle of the night. The cop was asking for his ID. He wanted to give him to him, and like he just kept ignoring the cop and going into the store. The cop tased him, and then he beat the shit out of the cop. Like, keyword, he tased him first.
Right.
Bow, bow, bow.
I don't know if that taser shit is actually as effective as people think it is.
Oh,
man.
it is. It's not that effective against somebody that's 345 pounds, 6'5".
I don't know. I've seen enough tape with
he got tickled. He took that thing out and he beat the shit out of that dude till backup showed up.
Well, I mean, if the taser's out, it's kind of like a fair fight at this point. I might as well get a couple shots in.
I'm not mad at either one of them. I'm just saying, like, that was one of the few situations where I was like, yeah, this cop's gonna need some help.
Man,
that dude was like a backup defensive end. That is not the fight you want to pick, bro.
Shout out to Malika Sokum joining from New Zealand. Still?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, Malika?
What time is it over there? That is awesome.
It's like 16 hours ahead. So
shout out to Leon Gibson, Roland Mothershed, DC Irvin. Oh, Leon, since you watching, Molly is all the way over in New Zealand, around the world, you flat earther.
Oh, is that the flat Earth dude? Oh man,
I just don't get that. I love you like a play cousin, bro, but I just don't understand, man. The world is round. I've been around it. I don't get it. Like, why do you not get this?
Well, you know what? It's just too easy to have conspiracy theories out now. So I don't blame people for falling for that stuff.
Why would everybody, like literally everyone, be in on that though?
because that's the way the world is. Yeah, you know. Now, I was throwing my own conspiracy theory out there this weekend because they were celebrating Neil Armstrong's landing on the moon.
That's true. I was watching it on CNN.
Yeah, the first man on the moon. And I was like, was he really the first man on the moon? Was he really? Look, if I was Neil Armstrong and I showed up on the moon and I saw some footsteps that were already there, you think I'd tell anybody? No. They'll be like, hell no. Shh.
Well, there's a whole. If you're gonna go the conspiracy theory route, there's people that said that whole thing was staged anyway.
Oh,
they said Stanley Kubrick directed it.
Right. Yeah, which is it's kind of goofy. I mean, even if that was true, what would be the point of doing that? I mean, because the Russians were already like for real putting up satellites, right? And the reason we know satellites work is because you can hear us because this stuff is being broadcast over satellites. So that's reality.
My favorite joke that came from the U.S. space race back in the day was like, America spent millions and millions of dollars trying to develop the technology to make an ink pen work in outer space, and the Russians just used a pencil.
Yep.
I was like, you Americans, you try too hard.
But thanks to all this technology, now we have the ability to.
Yes, we are podcasting on
to broadcast.
Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and Apple Music and Spotify, and we got to wrap this up pretty soon. Did we cover everything?
I think we covered most things. Okay, so just to wrap up, I want to stake my claim and say Eddie Murphy's special is gonna suck. I don't know.
I'm 50-50. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Mother Chef. We are awesome. You're awesome, too.
So
I think it's going to be okay, but I'm 50-50. You can flip a coin.
And by the way, Netflix is pretty dangerous because, one, they don't release any of the numbers, so you have no idea what you're negotiating for.
That's true.
And two, look at what they did to Monique.
Yes.
I mean, I read the contract.
She was right when it was all said and done.
Did you read the contract?
She deserved way more money. No, I didn't.
Oh, the contract was crazy, man. They were like, they're going to give her $500,000, but for the first year after that, she can't perform any of those jokes anywhere. And she can't do any other comedy specials anywhere else without the first right of refusal. And
just for $500,000 though?
For $500,000.
Fuck that.
So basically, that's $200,000.
No wonder she kicked that deal to the curb.
Dog,
Fuck that shit.
Imagine that shit. That's
I can't perform my own material for a year?
For 2 years. Like for one year, no performance, and then for the second year, like for any comedy specials you want to do, like HBO or whatever, like they had the first right of refusal.
Yeah, I get that, but like,
but come on, man. Like think of it, $500,000. That's $250,000 after tax. Right, yeah. Then you got to pay your manager, you got to pay your agent, you got to pay.
That's $125,000, which is great, but at the same time, you got to look at it like that. Like if you negotiate for these big numbers, you got to pay out all these people that get you these big numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to pay your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's a reason Wesley ain't in this new Blade movie. Pay your taxes.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill, man.
Pay your taxes, people.
But see that though? Imagine that. So you basically get like $100,000 over 2 years. Like you live in like you are a Starbucks manager and you have an Oscar. Imagine motherfuckers telling you an Oscar winner to their face, "This is what you get." Fuck out of here. And then you'll give Eddie Murphy $70 million. He hasn't performed in 30 years. Fuck out of here.
I kind of get the business reason for that. I'm not condoning it, but I get it because it's like you can put Eddie Murphy's voice in a movie and make like 5 times what you spent on the whole production versus Monique. Like Monique's acting is phenomenal. She is an Oscar caliber actress,
and she has some of the best gifts out there too. So.
That too.
It's too much.
But what I'm saying is, like, she doesn't have that same draw, that same name recognition as Eddie Murphy. So, like, from a marketing standpoint, I get it. But like from a quality standpoint, I would rather her do a special than Eddie because she's definitely way closer to it than he is.
Yeah, I would have Eddie do like a veteran's minimum. Like, all right, like like an NBA, like
his veteran minimum is still 5 times what they paid her.
Okay, maybe. So give him $5 million, let him do one half an hour, see if he still got the chops, and then pay him. Yeah. Okay. Like I mean, he's Isaiah Thomas coming off that hip injury right now. Like I ain't giving you.
You fucked up your foot and your thigh.
I'm gonna give you the max. Why?
I feel you.
$500,000. Do your thing.
Cue up some music. We about to close this, man. But like, yeah, I completely agree with you. And now, like in hindsight, like I remember back when she was talking about boycott Netflix. Everybody was like, yeah, we're not paying for cable, so that's good luck with that. But like, I totally understand her standing her ground and not wanting to take what they were giving her because she's worth more than that, straight up.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing you could probably think of is to tell black people to boycott Netflix. Like black people, there's one account we all share, right?
Yeah, like so you telling me I got to tell my cousin's sister that she got to stop using Netflix so I can properly boycott. You know that affects 8 other people, lady.
39 million black people, 1 Netflix account.
It's funny that we even bring this up. I saw a story the other day that that Netflix had kind of pretty much reached critical mass. Like they're at like over 200 million subscribers, and they were having trouble finding new subscribers. And I was like, yeah, that's plenty for the whole world to just use those accounts. Like if you give everybody like 8 users, that's enough.
Yeah, you've covered all the human beings on the planet.
Like 3 billion people that have access to internet will totally be able to use the accounts you've put out there. Thank you. You've done the world a great service for $20 a month.
Yeah, pretty much. We basically have to wait until those Facebook satellites go up over Africa, and so they get internet over most of the continent of Africa. Then you could start having, oh man, African Netflix choices are going to be great.
Wait till China gets Facebook.
Oh no, they're never.
That's 2 billion people that you get.
Yeah, the Chinese government will never allow that.
I agree. All right, we got to close this then. We've been out here long enough. Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody that did. I want to send a shout out to DC Irvin, Kirk McHenry, Leon Gibson, Sadia Jones, Carmen Ferguson, Trey Porter, Paul Deese.
Shout out to Avery Dallop from Trini. What?
Shout out to Kazim Rahman, even though he had nothing to do with this, but they're going to tag you anyway.
Shout out to racist Facebook for still trying to find out what black person this is
Do you want to tag Kazim Rahman in this video is my version of executive producer Dick Wolf. Like, that's how I know this shit is working.
Burn, 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 burn. That's the closing headlines.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love doing this for you. We'll be back next time, same bat station, even though that time tends to fluctuate. Same day, though. And our podcast should be up on Apple and Spotify by Wednesday. If not, check my page, B page. We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll post it. I'll post the links on my page and so on. And like I said, we're going to have some highlight reels set up soon so you can share some short pieces of what we're doing so other people can, learn about the podcast.
So please download this podcast, share it with your friends, because we want to get sponsorship so we can do more comedy for y'all. So hook us up.
Peace.
One.